Welcome everyone, this is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com and I am really glad you guys are here. Thank you for joining me today. This is a pre-recorded video and today we're going to be working on project number 3 of July's paper pumpkin kit alternatives. And if you don't know what that is, Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription from Stampin'Up, and you will get in your kit everything you need to make the projects for that month. Sometimes, most of the times it's cards. There has been other times where there's other paper craft, but the reality is most of them are cards. Now, I love Paper Pumpkin Kit because one thing, it is $23.50, and that includes shipping. And each kit brings a stamp set, it brings card bases, it brings cutouts, it brings what we call a stamping spot, and I'm going to bring these here. It brings everything, the glue dots, dimensionals if you need dimensionals, and so forth. I absolutely love it. It's a great way, especially if you're starting, it is a great way to get your to increase your stamp set collection, because it always brings a stamp set, and which is exclusive to the Paper Pumpkin Kit. And you will also be able to increase the amount of colors in inks you have, because it always brings the stamping spot. Now, if you've been here before, you know that I try very, very hard to just use what's in the kit. Most of the time, the only extra things I bring are my tools. So my trimmer, my take your pick, my bone folder. Although it brings the kit brings some adhesives, I usually use my own stamping, my own dimensionals, and save those, right? I just get them all, had like a big stash of dimensionals thanks to Paper Pumpkin Kit. I will use, let me see, if I need scissors, then I may use that. If you've been here, you know I love my Stampin' Seal Plus, so I have that one here. I will use the regular Stampin'Up blocks instead of the acrylic block that it's in the that you will receive on your first Paper Pumpkin Kit. This is the one you will receive, but I usually just bring mine just because they're a little thicker, as you can tell, and much easier to use. And let me see, the only other thing is I always bring my own big pad. I save those stamping, those ink spots for other occasions, like if I have classes, I will use them. If my, nieces and nephews, and I always say this, they come over, I let them have them and let them play with it, but I use my big one here. And finally, there's always one thing that I bring, and that is a piece of white cardstock. Depending on the kit, it can be a black cardstock, but in this case it's white. Okay, let's move to the crafting table. Let me see, let me do this correctly. Let's see, haha, it worked, yay. Okay, a few things I want to show you is, first, these are the 3 cards you would be able to make in this kit. So be mindful of them. And the kit will include very specific instructions that are easy to follow, and they guide you through exactly, to get to the cards that they designed for you. So there's that. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is, well, this is what the kit brings if you want to check it out, but it coordinates with different Stampin'Up products and paper. This one specifically coordinates with Balmy Blue, with Fresh Freesia, with Basic Bray, Bermuda Bay, Pacific Point, and Poppy Parade. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that because it's very useful. The kit always comes in a box like this, Sometimes it's decorated. Next month is decorated. And in order to subscribe to the kit, you need to subscribe before August 10th to receive August kit, and I'll show you here in a second what it brings. I love these boxes. They are super useful for many other things. This is our kit for August. I absolutely love it. It brings 2 different ink spots. I think that they have what we call double stamping, so you're going to be creating some beautiful sunflowers from what it looks like, with 2 different stamps. And it also has a little free gift, which is it's like a little mesh. I was looking into it. It seems like it's a beehive in gold. It looks very beautiful. This is the actual box, which is just gorgeous on itself. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. Let's get crafting. A little bit ago, and I have some of my stuff already here. Let me move all this. So a little bit ago, I made an Easter card, and I'm going to link it up here for you if you're interested in it. That was kind of like a fold over with a little window, sort of. It didn't. I mean, you guys know, if you like cards, you know that everything is called fun fold. So I think I called it Easter fun fold. So there's that. And it's really simple to make, but I think it has a super cool factor to it. Now we are going to be using 2 of the card bases for this one, and we're going to be using the basic gray and the Fresh Freesia. I really like these combination. I have to say, I don't particularly love Pacific Point. It's one of those blues that is not in my good graces. So I have not done anything with it really, because again, I guess I get stuck in my own in the colors I like. So I do love this combination. When you bring the Bermuda Bay, I think it's too strong. So I have been trying to define a card with this Fresh Freesia, and it has been more of a challenge. But that's what we're here for, right? We're here to push ourselves to look into ways to make this fun. So we're going to gather this one, and this one is going to go backwards like so. Okay, let's bring our bone folder. It seems to be a little not on the fold side. Let me bring another one. Another one of the card bases. Hopefully that closes okay. And if not, I'll show you a trick to close it well. It looks like it does. Good? Yes, good. Okay, good. So we're going to close this one as like so, and this one will close the regular way. So the color on the outside. Okay, so we'll get our card. We are going to make a couple of cuts in here. And what we're going to do is calculate so they are even. Stampin' Up, okay, let me move this in your camera view, has some beautiful border dies that I used in that other card, but like I said, we try very hard not to use any other border or any other product that you may not have. And I am thinking I was somewhere along the lines of 1.5, and so 4. So we're going to make these little dots, pencil dots, at 1.5 and 4. Actually, let's do 1. I'm thinking, or 1.25. I'm thinking 1 may be too much. So 1.25. Okay, so we are going to cut this, and what we're going to do is we're going to align these with, and this is the other thing we're going to do. We're going to mark, so we said 1.25, so we're going to align our card to 1.25 here. Okay, and we're going to close it so it's easier and make another dot. That one's a little rebellious. Okay, so let's see. We are going to cut between these two dots and just kind of get some interest in our card. Let's see. They are aligned, and that is where this beautiful trimmer that I love is so useful, right? This allows you, this perfect view allows you to do all kinds of designs with your cards. Cut and gone. So this is what we are going to have, and I'm actually going to cut about 1/4 here of an inch. I'm aligning on the other side, which is easy, so I don't have to calculate anything, and that's the card we're going to have. Okay, now we are going to get our next piece, and we are going to cut about 1/4 of an inch all through it. Okay, so this is going to be now 1/4 smaller, and what we're going to have is we're going to have the ability to get this as is, like here. We're going to put it all the way here because these are both, actually, now that I think about it, on this side, which is, let me bring this back. This is the side we're going to put in here. So I'm going to make a tiny mark, maybe in here. So I am aware that this is the side that goes inside, and we are going to cut another 1/4. And that is funny, but of course my little mark is outside that 1/4, so I'm going to make another little mark, just tiny, so I'm aware that this is the one that will go inside, and that way we have 1/4 of an inch of a of layer all over. Okay, and this will go like this. So this needs to go close to here, right? As close, I mean, align with this edge, and that will gives us that. And we don't really need to cut this one. If you want, you can do it. I just don't see the need for it. It just creates some fun into it for me. Now, so we're bringing this piece. I really want this lighter color on the bottom of the card. So here, okay, this is going to go like this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to really align this well here and mark. And I'm going to mark. So let me explain this a little better. I am aligning, I am centering, not aligning. I am centering the piece within the card, okay, from the card base. And I am putting a little dot in here and a little dot in here, okay? Now, so this is going to be a little bit harder to align here at the top, because if you can tell, we'll have to turn this over a tiny bit and make sure this is straight for one. So back here, align with the card or center within the card, and then we'll move it on the back. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to cut this here, and I know this I'm going to have to cut there. Okay, so let's start with the cutting. I am, since these are already, you have already a line on it, I'm just going to make sure that goes. There we go, one, and same here. We're putting that line we created within the marks, within our view, and that's the cut. Now I need to cut, and it seems like it is, it's a little bit of, I don't know. I'm gonna cut an 1/8 initially, okay? And if we need more, I always say it's easier to cut later than if you cut too much. And I think that works almost okay. I think we need to cut some here. So I'm going to use this and cut about 1/8 again. And I'm using just this side because it's a little bit easier. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so we have this piece now in here. It fits perfectly in it. And we are going to decorate this on the side. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this. You can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use glue because it's right here. We're going to put the glue on the edge. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and put this in here. Center as best as we can. And there we go. So this is going to look very beautiful once we finish it all together. Now, what's the next step? The next step is we're going to create a little window here. And I know we're not using dies, so we're going to create a square, which I keep thinking is the easiest to make. And I am going to use this line. Okay, let me, sorry, I have not erased those and I can see them. So we're going to use the trimmer because we can line up in here, and that's where we're going to want our first line for the square. And we are going to we're going to make okay, nope, let me do this. I think I'm going to go backwards a tiny bit. Let me bring, I think from last time we created a few too many squares. I'm hoping I have one that works for what I'm trying to do. We have a little piece in here, so let's use that. I want a 2 by 2 square, maybe a 2.5. Will 2.5 be too big? No. So let's work on a 2.5 by 2.5 square. There we go. And what we're going to do is, let's see if it's too big. I think it's too big, so instead of 2.5, let's make it 2.25. And back there, 2.25. Okay. I want this little frame to be so we're able to see it through the window. So I just want to make sure that he fits. Now I want this to be in a rhombus position, and actually what I am going to do is going back to this place of the card. We are going to put this in here, align it as best as we can, you know, center it. I keep saying aligning, huh? Center it as best as we can. So I'm bringing to use this trimmer the most we can. So I am putting these towards the ledge, so I know this is straight. I am putting this a little bit towards the top, not the up. Sorry. And then making sure that more or less between here and here there's the same distance, and I am just eyeballing it really, but that's where I'm going to put it. And I'm going to go a tiny bit higher actually. So I think this is more or less like, I think it's about 1/4 of an inch. So that's more or less what we're going to leave on all 3 sides, give or take, right? So 1/4 of an inch on each side. And what we're going to do, yes, you figure it out, is I'm going to trace with my pencil all around our little square, and we're just going to cut that down. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a little square rhombus in here. Okay, we're going to go back in here and align just as we have been doing. Our I have to say, I always say the same thing about our trimmer is the best thing ever in the, you know, I just really like it. And this view is so useful. Our blades are super good, so I'm aligning this as best as I can. I am going to come in here more or less and cut. Okay, and then we're going to do that all over around. Sorry, that's not very well aligned. This view is going to help us know where to put our little line so we can follow it through. we'll move this a tiny bit, bring the cutter and make sure that it's aligned. And I do a little tiny cut and it is in the sign, in the area it needs to be. So now we cut. Okay. And we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. You see how strong this, or how good this blade is? I love it. We're gonna do the same thing, align as best as we can within that view. Go all the way and all the way. Go back up and one more. We just have one more to do. That's the good news. And back in here, align as best as we can and cut. And I saw that it was not as aligned as I thought it was, so we just moved a little bit and we got it. Now, of course, this is not going to be as easy because I was very careful of trying not to go above or beyond the line. So we just bring our snips and cut them to cut those areas. See this one? Yeah, it's right here. So we just cut those tiny areas where it's still stuck. And now we have our tiny window. What do you guys think? Isn't that cute? So we'll have our friend here just showing up with the other coral thingy. We'll see how it goes. Or maybe within the bottle. You guys know that whenever I work my paper pumpkin kit, it is more it's a creation on the go. So we're going to need now to create a window here if we want that to be our window, right? And so I am aligning this as best as I can, and I am actually going to take a 16th in here. The 16th is where these brown area from the trimmer ends. So we'll take a 16th on the other side. So we had initially cut a 4th in here. We're going to take a 16th in here, and that's just so this fits a tiny bit better when it closes. See what I'm saying? And now it fits better. Before it was trying to get it gets bulky when it closes in here. It was just harder to close, and we don't want that. Okay, so now we're going to align this as best as we can again, and we're going to glue this actually. So when it opens, you're going to have this beautiful, and you know what? I just decided that I want it to be the same. So I just cut, so bottom line, sorry about all this confusion. So bottom line, I am cutting a 4th on each side. So now it will fit perfectly. Yes, I think that that's a better idea. We are going to move this all the way to the edge though of this card. And we're going to center this as best as we can, and we're going to glue this up here. And actually I'm going to use, I'm going to move the trimmer for a second. I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus. You guys know I love it. But it has the, I was going to glue it, but glue takes a tiny bit to dry. And so I just want to make sure, okay, so I just want to make sure that, you know, that the video doesn't go much longer than it usually is anyways. So I'm just aligning this as best as I can, paying attention to these two sides. And that's what we're going to have, okay? So we're going to have, so we need to create now a window here. Holy behold. And what we're going to do, yes, you imagine that, is just going to use our pen and follow that square we have there, and then we're just going to go ahead and cut it, okay? And we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. It is a little bit more complicated to see here because it's gray and pencil is gray, but we're going to do the best we can. Okay, this is moving a tiny bit. I got it. Same as before, don't go all the way. You don't want that. We're going to move these a tinies. moving that, a line again, and again, it's super hard to see because the pencil is the same color. But if you want, you can use, you know, a pen that is darker. You can use white gel pen to make that, or marker. I'm just using what I have right here, and you just have to be a little bit more mindful. Pay more attention, because definitely it's harder to see. Okay, so I am aligning that line we just created with our pencil within this little path and cutting, and we just have one more to go. Let's see, I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. And you could have done that without gluing. I'm going to tell you why I did it glued already, because that way I know it won't move. And I think that's very important when you have measurements like this, that you want them to be as exact as possible. You don't want them to move, right? You want them to be exact. And so if I glue it, I know that it's not going to move, and that helps me a little bit when I am actually, you know, tracing that with the pencil. Okay, we got it. There we go. Oh, look at this one, was almost done, perfectly done. So we go back here, and that's our little window. Our friend is going to come here, and we are going to use some of our ink to do this in here. I mean, to do some C in here, and put our beautiful red seahorse. Let me clean this a tiny bit. A lot of things. So let's focus for a second here on this. What I want to do, let's see, I want to bring this one here. And I don't mind actually that this is going to look a little bit of the window. I'm going to put it as is, like that. Like there. And then we have two bottles here that we have not actually used. I'm looking for the other one. One is much bigger, and I think that this would be far too big, obviously, but we can use this small one, put it around here, kind of there. I think it's fun. Or maybe towards the bottom, maybe more there. And we have, we have one of those beautiful stars, and I'm going to put one just around there. It has to go in, of course, so just be mindful of where you're putting everything. And finally, we are going to put our sentiment, which is here, and we're going to put this in here. So our sentiment is going to go there, so we can move some of all these stuff a little bit higher, like there, or maybe this can go like so. Okay, let's see which sentiment actually fits that one, and it seems like it's wishing you all the best. The others are on the long side. Okay, yeah, I don't think any of these others will fit, so we're going to use that. So let's start working with this. We're going to be using our Bermuda Bay and get our sentiment. We're going to center as best as we can. The good news is that it is a circle, so most likely we'll get it okay. That's the good news. We'll get that to dry for a minute. I want to see one thing. I'm thinking I want this little friend in here, and so let me clean my stamp and bring, you know, this is too wet. I think my chamois are too wet today. There you go. And we're going to put him in here. And if we're going to put it like so, I just want to make sure that it's straight, right? And as you can tell, I'm going to try it in here. It was kind of not working well. Let's see. And that's why I'll always recommend that you guys have your grid paper. Super, super useful. Okay, there's our little friend. You see, he's super cute. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this a tiny bit, and I'm going to bring the some of the other stamps just to create some fun in here. So we may not even see them, but if there's a possibility that we may see them, then there's some fun to it. And the last thing I'm going to bring is the bubbles, and that's what these are. So let's see, get some bubbles in here. I'm going to put some in here, with the advantage that if these are kind of not perfect, it doesn't matter because they're bubbles, right? And bubbles will not be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to bring my super thin glue dispenser and let me bring our big piece of coral, and we're going to, and you don't really need, you could have done this with a regular glue, but I am going ahead and using this one. I like the fact that it is so thin and that you're able to fit almost anywhere. It's gorgeous for that. Or not gorgeous. I think I've been noticing that I say gorgeous too often. I'm trying to stay away from it, but this is very, very useful. Thought of another word. So we're gonna go ahead, put this in here. I want them as much as possible there. I like these, like I said, I want these to actually, and some of them have some glue. I didn't think of that. So be mindful, but I'm just trying it real quick, and that will help for this to look like that. We are going to trim this off, of course. I'm looking for my snips that just kind of disappeared. Okay, and then those will stay there. Let me bring those out. And I'm just going to make sure that these are well, or have enough glue on the sides, because they are there on the edge, and so I want to make sure that they are really, really well glued. Okay, perfect. So, not that way. This is the way. Oh, see? How useful of you. Okay, so this is what we have initially. You can barely see those, but it's fine. We are going to bring, I think, let's start with this one. I'm going to bring this one in here. This one will go in dimensionals. So let's put some glue in our little image here, cut out really, like that. This one will go here at the bottom on dimensionals. And you guys know that I use everything and anything, and that's one of the great things of our dimensionals. They have these sides, so I use those too. Always. There's no waste, no reason to waste. You see? Yeah, I'm gonna grab one more. Or one piece more, I guess, since these are not technically dimensionals. We are going to open them up, and whoops. Okay, so there's the goes, and I'm going to put a little bit crooked like so, and I'm going to tell you why, because here is our other bottle, and I don't want it to go there, so I'm just going to have to put it underneath. And I'm going to use some of those dimensionals to hold it as well, kind of there. And let's put some glue. Okay. And that's where we got. So that's our front of the card. I think it's super cute. We will open. I kept thinking of what, I mean, like it's kind of so serious in there, right, on its own. And I don't know if we should put some fun into it. I am thinking, because these are all gray, I'm going to put one of these. And actually, I'm going to put this one in here. This is a little bit on the dark side. So then before I put that, what if we put another sentiment in there? These kit brings two more options, one very, very thin one and one very, very big one. I think that this is way too big, but we can try to like cut it in half and then put our seagull in it. So let's see. I'm moving this out. I'm calculating. So these measures for almost 4¼ or 4¼ a little bit more than 4¼ so I'm just going to cut it to 3. I think 3 will do, maybe 3 okay, I'm going to cut 3½ because like I've said many times before, you can cut it, but if you cut too much, you can't glue it back on. So let's bring our other sentiments. So this one says, wishing you all the best, and I am thinking, what is the other word? Can't wait to see you. I like that one. So let me bring my, so again, Stampin' Up! Has these blocks. They are so useful. They have them in every single possible size that you're going to really use, and it's so useful. So that is definitely something you may want to invest in. My head may come in here just because I've mentioned the glare does not allow me to stamp very straight. So that was good enough. Okay, I'm cleaning. Whenever I go there, I'm cleaning my stamps. Guys, always remember to clean your stamps. So we're going to put some glue. And this is going to go there, like align with these. I'm leaving about, it's about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm bringing my other friend here, and it's going to go there. Oops, needs to go a little bit in here. We don't want him to lose its beak. Okay. And then we have that in the middle. So the card opens here. You can see him here. Oh, I should have thought of that. Okay, let me move this a tiny bit. I'm cleaning that up. I don't think it's very bad to see this, but I don't want to see him in there. Okay, so more towards the middle, where he still fits, but see there. Okay, so he stays there, and now we're going to work on this one. I'm going to bring one of my Stampin' Up! Brushes. I did this, I have done this I think with all of the cards in this, yeah, I think so, in this kit. So as always, use here. We're just going to create some coloring here. Where to put that our really red seahorse. And it's just a tiny bit, so he pops up. Well, he's going to pop up no matter what, but so he's going to go in there. And I'm going to bring this one, this other coral, oops. Okay, it's stuck. Got it, I got it. And I'm going to cut it a tiny bit because I don't want to use it all. Scissors are here. And so what I'm actually going to do, let's see if this works the way I'm envisioning it. So if I get it in here, then we'll have both colors in there, and that seems fun to me. Let's see, so he needs to be centered. So that'll be center. I like him underneath there, but I don't want these to be that high. So maybe from the side. Let's see. Yeah, maybe like there. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to go back again and cut this more on the straight side on this end. We'll go back again. Oh, let me do this. No. Let's close this for a second. Let's glue these and go ahead and center it in here. Like I said, I want him to be like inside the coral area, like there. And now we can bring this piece, align it here and see how it goes. I think it needs to be aligned somewhere. So that's why I cut it in a way that it was straight. Okay, put in some glue, bringing it here, align it with that score line, and it's going to go there. Okay, and so cool, because we'll have some ability to write in here some more. Right, there's your card. What do you think? Let me see. There you go. So you open it. It says, "Can't wait to see you." And then in here, do you know what I think? I think I'm going to bring some of that twine that comes with the kit. And maybe it's a little bit too late. No, I think it's going to work well. Let me open this a tiny bit. That's one of the advantages of dimensionals. They're a little bit more forgiving. So I'm going to bring these up here. I should have thought about that before, but I didn't. And that happens, and that's okay. And we're just going to create one of those simple loops I make. You guys know that I can make bows. So it's not a bow thing. It's just a loopy thing. And so we'll have all sorts of loops like so. And you'll have some extra fun, some extra dimension everywhere. And I'm going to put it like here. And I'm separating it there, and I purposefully use the same the same dimensional to get that in, and then we'll have that there. Some cool loops to it. And we can even entangle it with the, am I using a pen? With the star here, so it looks like that. Okay, now we are done. I can't believe how fast this video went. Okay, so it's a cool fun fold. It's easy to make, and there you go. And you can just write in here whatever you want, right? You'll have a space for that. I think this frame needs a little bit more glue on that end. Okay. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments if you like it, if it's a good idea, if it's a good alternative. Just remember again that there's nothing here that does not belong to the kit. So it takes a little bit of time to come up with ideas without using any other things. I keep looking at these card base or the color and think of some of our other products that I'm like, oh my god, it will match so perfectly with it. And so I can use that at another time, but right now I'm focusing on just using what's in the kit. So everything here is there in the kit, and you're able to do whatever you want else. Okay, so I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Okay, let me bring myself back up here. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us immensely here in YouTube. And if you like the general content of the channel, do subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I am either uploading a video or going live. I go live every Tuesday, and I upload a paper pumpkin kit every Thursday. I am uploading a pre-recorded video with just cards I want to make, I fell in love with, and I just want to make them, and I don't have time to make it in live. So I am doing that probably like twice a month. We'll see how it rolls. And I had started a beginners workshop training. If you're interested with that, I will link it up here, and you can check it out. There, I have stopped that for a little bit just because summer gets busy and time has been kind of evading me, so I have to be mindful of that. And let's see, if I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you want a catalog, please let me know. At this point in time, we have 3 catalogs. We have our annual catalog, we have our celebration catalog, which is free product, and we have our mini catalog. So do send me an email to Maria at mariascraftingcorner.com so I can send them to you if you want them. Let's see, more announcements. Do go visit my website, mariascraftingcorner.com. I have a very, very nice reward system, which includes freebies and includes card classes. So it's a great opportunity for you to make the most out of your buck. And if you buy right now, you will get free product from Stampin' Up! Through Celebration, and free product with me as well. I think that is all for today. Don't forget to join me next Tuesday, and I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.